Blowing the whistle is no longer a courageous act of saving democracy. According to the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi blasting Republicans for holding a hearing featuring two IRS agents who claim Hunter Biden got special treatment in his tax case.
What a ridiculous clown show, again, on the part of the Republicans. But I have respect for whistleblowers, but the fact is that from the basis of that hearing, they didn't even have a fair shot at what they came to say in light of the clown show that was going on with pictures. And I'm not confident about what the whistleblower said. The U.S. attorney was a Trump attorney. This is their opinion. It was not the opinion of the others there.
The media backing up Nancy's attacks on the GOP.
If you thought a hearing with two IRS whistleblowers was going to be tame, you'd be wrong. This is the reality of the Republican investigation into the so-called Biden crime family. It's seemingly riddled with stunts and conspiracies. If this is all sounding like deja vu, that's because these allegations have already been investigated over and over and over again.
But it looks like Republicans aren't going to stop. The GOP is gearing up to hear from Hunter's ex-partner, Devon Archer. Devon? Okay. And a new report in the New York Post revealing that he plans to tell them that Hunter put his father, the then VP, on the phone with business associates at least 24 times. 24 times. Jesse, let me do the math for you. That's over 24.
You're right about that.
I mean, that's amazing. Do you talk to your dad 24 times?
I haven't talked to him 24 times in a year.
Yes, that's what I mean.
But Joe and his dad talk every single day.
Yes.
So a couple things. They said that, remember when Hunter was on the phone and he threatened the Chinese to pay up because his dad was right next to him? Turns out Hunter was driving his dad's Corvette around Delaware that same day. So that puts Joe and Hunter at the same location. Plus, the FBI, if they wanted to, they could pinpoint his location. The FBI could also tell us what was in Patrick Ho's laptop and phone. Remember, Hunter was paid $1 million by the Chinese to represent the Chinese spy that got clipped at JFK. The FBI seized his laptop and his phones and then used it in the court case. So what are they hiding? They knew what Ho was telling the chairman about Joe and Hunter. And then all of a sudden, Hunter's like over in the Middle East at the Four Seasons. Yeah, let me call my dad. I'm going to put him on speaker. Yeah, these are the Burisma guys that Joe Biden has claimed that he never, ever talked to. Now we have like 6 people, 7 people that say they talk all the time. What does it tell you when President Joe Biden is trying to put his opponent in prison and then trying to keep his own son out of prison? Last time I checked, the Democrats love whistleblowers. They wanted to give them all guns, double their workforce. They were hoping that every IRS agent could lock up all of these rich white guys cheating on their taxes. Then all of a sudden, an IRS whistleblower, second one was a gay Democrat IRS whistleblower, found some rich white guys cheating on their taxes. Now it's a clown show? Give me a break. Every time they tried to serve a search warrant, they got tipped off. Every time they tried to pursue a lead to the big guy, they got obstructed. It's called obstruction of justice. It's called corruption. Compare that to Trump. Man, that guy was an open book. He had his whole family sit it for depositions. He handed over thousands of documents. He had to answer for 2 years about a crime that never even existed. Joe hasn't had to answer once about this. Hey, Joe, did you ever meet Tony B? Hey, Joe, did you ever talk to the Ukrainians guys? Because they say they have you on tape. Answer some questions. Answer one question. He couldn't last 5 minutes. Not with me.
No.
With Brett Baer.
Oh. Yeah. Dana?
Well, I think the left's entire strategy here is to kick up a lot of dust around it to confuse people. And part of that could be working, right? However, the problem for them is that the facts in this continue to get worse and worse. I don't know if you saw it, but in the briefing today, Karine Jean-Pierre had a little slight change of phrasing, okay? She said President Biden was never in business with his son. For months, she has referred all of those questions to the White House counsel's office, in which they say, like, he's already spoken on this, and Biden maintains he never asked his son anything about his business dealings. However, now you have all of these people. What are the chances that all of these different entities are all lying about the very same thing, even if they're not related to each other, and they're all doing it under oath, under penalty of having to go to jail for it? I think that is why the White House is probably even more concerned. The credibility of the whistleblower, unfortunately, is in the eye of the beholder.
Of course.
And it's unfortunate because a lot of people that I worked with in the government, the bureaucrats, They're really good people. They work hard. They care about what they do. What I don't understand is why the bureaucracy always votes for the Democratic Party in large measure, like 80% or something like that. Because look how quickly somebody like Nancy Pelosi will turn on you.
What do you think, Jessica? Why is that the case? What are you trying to hide? Jesse, let me see that. Thanks. Answer your question while I think about this.
While you think about the girls in the Corvette?
Yes, this is troubling.
Okay.
What are they trying to hide?
I did think that Nancy Pelosi was drawing a distinction between the whistleblowers themselves being a clown show and the Republican line of questioning. And you have to look no further than Marjorie Taylor Greene whipping out a picture of Hunter Biden's penis to say, oh, this is a little bit of a clown show, right? This is deteriorated.
You can't find a picture of him without his penis. What are you going to do? Believe me, I've tried.
I mean, did you mean to use the word whipped it out?
I did. I thought it was good for emphasis. No? They say liberals are no fun. I didn't think that the whistleblowers seemed not credible. I thought that their answers seemed completely credible, but just didn't support the GOP narrative about it. Like Gary Shapley, for instance, under questioning from Ro Khanna, he said, you know, on average, how many times did you refer someone to the tax counselors, the ones who decide who's going to get prosecuted, and they didn't take your advice? And he said the vast majority of times. Or Joseph Ziegler, our gay Democrat whistleblower, talking about how he would ask the higher ups and say, you know, I want to move forward. I want to ask questions about this. And they would say, it's too much. We're not going to be able to do that. And they were the Trump appointees that were telling him that. It wasn't Garland sitting there. It was David Weiss saying it, A.G. Barr. So the narrative just completely falls apart.
Are you saying the U.S. government blocks prosecuting tax cheats all the time?
Yeah.
That's your argument? That people don't get away all the time with cheating on their taxes.
What? He did get away. He pled guilty.
Wait a second, Jessica. If I don't carry the one, I go to prison on my taxes.
Really? You'd be in jail because you got audited.
You get audited all the time. Middle-class people, waitresses get audited. You're saying they're like, forget about it. What's $1 million?
Well, contrary.
I used the Roger Stone example then.
Contrary to Jessica saying that the narrative is falling apart.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Give Katie last word here.
Look, contrary to Jessica saying that the narrative is falling apart, it's actually being corroborated by different places. So first of all, you have the whistleblowers who are the most recent. You have the FBI 1023, which mentions Joe Biden as the big guy and bribery, and being mentioned that Hunter will use him to get Burisma into the United States in the initial public offering, changing foreign policy. You had Tony Bobulinski, who was Hunter Biden's business partner during the 2020 election, who was blowing the whistle on all of this in the media. They ignored and buried the story. You have Devon Archer testifying on Monday that this was going on. And the Obama White House was asked about this in the briefing room repeatedly about Hunter Biden's position on the Burisma board and whether it was a problem because the State Department at the time was investigating Burisma for corruption, and there was a massive conflict of interest. Lo and behold, we have whistleblower information now that Joe Biden was involved during that exact time.
Looks like that perfect phone call was a perfect phone call.
And I was just going to bring up the phone call. I reread the phone call to refresh my memory.
I've always said that.
And if you look at the way that they did the impeachment process, Democrats loved whistleblowers, right?
Yeah.
But if you actually look at the transcript, Zelensky is offering for paragraphs of conversations cooperation because he was new in the position as president. He wanted to work with Trump. So Trump takes him up on the offer and says, hey, why don't you look into this Biden corruption, which was real, and then they impeached him for it.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
Look into my political opponent, or I won't give you your weapons, isn't
That's
just
not
a
what he said.
casual.
It's much better to arrest your political opponent.
We do what we can.
All right.
You do.
Excellent whipping out.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.